everybody, how are you? Welcome back to the Take 5 Challenge. I'm Henry Perez-Alonzo, so I am what you would call your host. That's right, the Take 5 Challenge is my opportunity to model to you what it means and what it looks like to intentionally take some time with someone to connect, right? In the Parks and Rec profession, we really do rely on each other so much so that I think that it is important for us to take that opportunity to just take 5. That's right, take 5 minutes a month just to connect with somebody else, to chat with someone who's either at your same level, come before you, or coming after you, just to learn, right? Because I truly do believe that as iron sharpens iron, we do sharpen each other. And we're here again today. And I thank you to CPRS and the Push to Play Network for allowing this to happen for us. Today I'm excited for our guest that's coming in. Get to chat a little bit with Nicole Lowery and just see how it goes, right? This is our opportunity to take 5 and check in and to see what's going on. So I will be right back right after this with my Take 5 with Nicole.
Lovely.
Hi there, and we're back again here at the Take 5 Challenge. Just so excited to be chatting with my next guest, and I'm excited to welcome Nicole. Welcome, Nicole. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. How are you, Henry?
You know, today is not so bad of a day, so I will take that.
Good.
I will definitely take that and enjoy it. So just for those folks that might be hanging around going, wait, who is that? Why don't you tell us who you are, maybe where you work, just so they can hear. That's for them.
So my name is Nicole Lowery, and I'm a Recreation Supervisor 2 with the Cordova Recreation and Park District in the greater Sacramento area. And I kind of oversee our aquatics, our building rentals, our picnic and pavilion rentals, special events, and our front desk here at Hagen, which is kind of the main hub for all of our questions that come in from the community.
How many pools do you guys actually have? Is it 1, 2, 77, or what?
Yeah, we have 2 pools. I also operate our high school pool for a couple of events over the summer at the Rosemont High School. And then we have a splash park, which is a little unique in comparison to Splash Pad.
So how long have you been there?
I have been at Cordova almost 3 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's not too shabby. So like the 3-year mark is that point where they say that first year you're really learning what it's all about. The second year you're kind of learning it, but then you're putting your little bit of stamp on it. But then the third year is when it's actually yours, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that right now?
Yeah, I'm super excited for the summer. I actually have a lot of staff returning. So we're finally in a year where it's not all new staff. So they have that continuity from the last 2 years, and they're my staff, and I've trained them to do the things the way we want it done.
So you're in a really cool spot. I think that third year is a sweet real kickoff to, I don't know, what you've established and all that stuff. You're excited for, but what is it that excites you right now?
I think part of it
what's coming next
is that the staff is getting to they're coming into their own too. They're getting into their leadership roles. So I'm helping mentor them to take on teaching the classes. So I'm a lifeguard instructor trainer, and now I have instructors who I'm mentoring to take on those next steps and become those leaders at our pools, so that they're taking on their responsibility and they feel very in tune with what's going on.
You know, I have to say it. So my daughter this year got her LGI, right? Her lifeguard instructor cert. And that was, I don't know that she realized right off the bat that how cool of a thing it was, because I had myself been a lifeguard at one point, but it was just always, I was always in awe of the LGIs, but then there's the LGITs, as I'm looking across this camera. I think it's for lack of a better term, it's pretty badass so that you guys do that and kind of look at it. But my question is, and this was kind of to her too, was like the responsibility that you as an instructor to get this guard in place is huge. And you take that seriously. And I think that and what I'm hearing too is you're probably at that point where this is your legacy now, right? Your teaching legacy. And that must feel pretty cool.
Well, it all came full circle when I last week got to meet with the SAC Metro, because we're implementing Narcan into some of our AED cabinets. We actually have a public-facing AED cabinet now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they can call 911, get a code, and go in and use the AED to save someone's life, or the Narcan that's in there.
Yeah.
And then, but the paramedic I met with was actually a lifeguard and lifeguard instructor for me in Santa Rosa when I was over there for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of amazing to see it. And I just for those that are out there and looking at it and just kind of maybe blowing off the certs that you have, just understand. And I don't know that anybody really does that, right? But you kind of downplay it a little bit because you're all humble, except for when you're on the deck, then you're like dun, dun, dun. So, but I just think it's kind of cool.
You can see my pink cape.
Yeah. See, there it is. Yeah, is that your for when you get on deck? I put this.
And even says carks make life better. Yeah.
See, I like that. That's really cool. You know what's funny though, with all that stuff and knowing that this is kind of exciting. It's exciting to know that where you're at in this particular journey at Cordova, right? Because it really does make a difference when you're there. You see a couple things and you're able to go. But you and I had a chance to run into each other in person. There was something that you kind of said that just struck me, right? Hey, how's it going? You're like, hey, it's going well, but there's always something.
Yeah.
There's always something. And that's just been playing around in my head and thinking about how us as professionals, it's like, yeah, that's true. But I want to poke at that for you. It's like, what does that mean to you? Like, there's always something.
So for me, part of it is, that's why I love my job, is there's always something different every day that I get to deal with, good or bad, but it's different. I'm not doing the same thing every day. I'm not going into the office and just putting numbers into spreadsheets. I get to make my day different based off of what's coming in. Customer-wise, coworker-wise, employee-wise. But we also implemented a couple of new systems here at Cordova this year. So that's been a big change every day for us, is getting into Civic and not going into ActiveNet, and making sure that things are lining up with our customers and getting them into the system. And it's been a little bit of a struggle, but we're getting there.
Well, I find it interesting, even the way you said it right now, too. It's like, I didn't get the vibe that you're like, it's a bad, there's always something. And I think I think for professionals, that's probably one of the things that we need to recognize, right?
Yes. That
just like you said it, there's no good, there's no bad in it, but there's always something that, that we have to deal with, that we have to maybe talk about or say anything. Is there a something that struck you that was of interest over the last, week, month, whatever, to say the new year as you brought it in?
I think the big thing is just changing systems, because for me, I love change, and I think it's going to be great. But when you have staff that have been around a while, sometimes change is a little scary. So it's getting them to see the positive spin on what we're doing and where we're going.
So how do you do that now? Like, in their year 3, how do you encourage the change and let it settle in?
It depends on the employee. I have one where we're coming up with some new systems for how they're going to navigate this new system. We talked about multiple ways of doing that. They needed a reference point. And do you create a binder? Do you have folders? Do you set up so that the browser automatically brings up the location you need to get into the system? What way are we going to help you do this properly so that it's a positive experience and you're not struggling every day?
I like that. It's interesting. Now I'm just kind of looking at, I'm new in my role here in my agency, right? I'm just a little over 6 months, and I'm thinking about, and I have what I would say just tossed a big bucket of change on them, right? Not just the fact that I'm the, I think one of the first directors in here after a long history of people kind of just coming through the agency, so first outside candidate in a long time, right? So first outside director. And I think I've been really kind of trying to wrestle with and find the best ways for staff to, I don't know if it's even accept change, right? But like, what's the best way that I can say, hey, here's my bucket of, change. Can you please swallow some? Like, how would you want to hear it? And then also, how do you serve up your, buckets?
So I'm very much a tell me why. If you tell me why and the whole thought process behind it, I'm good to go. Like I said, I like change. I'm happy to learn something new, and I can usually figure out the best way to navigate something that's new in my world. However, you have people that do not like change. So it's coming to them and finding out, how are you doing it before? What are we really changing? And how do you need that done so that you can make it a positive experience? And some people like paper. So I helped our front desk person put together a binder so she could reference things as she went. Yeah. So it just depends on their style.
Yeah. So what about your style? Like, how do you like to hear? Because I'm like, for me, like I said, I have the pleasure and honor of serving as the department head, and all of a sudden I'm like, hey kids, guess what? I saw this, and this is what I think. And here I go. How do you like to take it? How would you like to hear it from the top for you? Like, are you give me another month ahead of time or what?
No. If you want something implemented tomorrow, just be open and honest with me and tell me why we're doing it. I want to know the reason behind it. Like, are we changing it to change it, or are we changing it because something wasn't working?
That's good. I mean, I don't, in all honesty, I don't typically change just for change's sake. But I do know that I look at that, and one of the things I try to do is give as much heads up as possible, because there are those people, right? That's like, I have to tell you, in 2 years, I'm going to make this change for you, so that they have at least 6 months to a year to go, oh, is he really being serious about that? To where then that last year is like, no, I'm actually being serious about that. What is you're good at change and implementation right away.
Yep.
That's what you're saying.
Give me the change.
You just give it.
Yeah.
And that's because you said you embrace change, right? Like you like it.
Yeah, I do.
So I
it opens
dig
up
that.
new opportunities. There are challenges.
It does.
But it's new opportunities.
It is, and it is interesting when you. And I think that knowing your leadership over there as well, I would think that they're all open to bigger, better, but in the right way, right? In the most positive way. And how does that? So I would almost say that you guys are maybe have a culture of allowing and welcoming change. Am I right on that?
Yes. I brought on a few new events when I started here because I wanted to try some new things. Some of them stuck, some of them didn't. Some of them they're like, that's not happening. But it's having the conversation and being like, and it's the same with my employees. If you want to change something, if you want to talk about it, if something's not working, come to me. It may not be the right way to do it based off of the initial conversation, but we can come up with a third pathway, or maybe there's something else we can do. So
and isn't it part of your whole there's always something, right? But even from those ideas, something else gets sparked up, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I think is really kind of cool. What is one of those things that you brought that was new?
Barktober Fest. So we do a whole
Barktober Fest.
Yeah. We do a whole doggy in the pool event with I think we had 35 vendors this last year.
Yeah.
Just different doggy treats, clothing, photos, anything dog related. We also had some CNI dogs and the veterans come out for that event. And then on top,
do you roll out doggy lifeguards? What's going on?
Yeah. So Red Cross does have a doggy CPR class, and I don't certify the staff in it, but we do put them through. This is how you do doggy CPR. This is how you rescue a dog out of a pool. We go through a whole process. Instead of trying to grab the dog, you give them the tube, and that'll support the dog so you can get them because we have a zero entry for the dog, so they can get to the zero entry and get out on their own. But yes, we have had a couple saves.
So how many dogs did you have at this thing?
Last year we had 85. So we're looking at splitting into 2 time frames and starting to do it by size because we're getting so many dogs.
Yeah, small dogs, little dogs, medium.
All the above.
That's funny. That is funny. That is because part of me is like, ooh, why do you want to put the dog in the pool?
This pool is a little smaller, and we only operate it in the summer months. So we do it during Barktober Fest, so that we have 9 months to clean the pool before we use it again.
See, that's smart. That's why there's always something that you can do.
That was part of that conversation. Well, they wanted to do it at our new pool, and I'm like, no. We're not doing it at the new pool.
Okay, good. That actually that warms my heart and that helps me because I'm like, really? I mean, we're really kind of going to throw something out there, and I'm envisioning our pools and going, I don't see it happening, but I like that. There was, like you said, the why to it and the thought behind it. It's like, hey, we're going to do it in an off month. We're going to give it opportunity to cycle through all the hair and canineness of it all. And get to that thing, but I do have to say, like, I'm such a nerd. I was sitting here trying to picture like those animated dogs, but like a big German Shepherd with his whistle, kind of walking the deck, kind of going, hey,
Oh, we actually do a costume contest, and yes, there are some that dress up. Big Bird and Cookie Monster were my favorite.
Oh, all right. So that Barktober really kind of rocked it a little bit.
Well, and then for the human element, we do also bring in the SPCA does all of our beer service. Mm-hmm. So we provide beer to the humans.
So dogs and beer at the pool? Holy
I know,
smokes.
I'm crazy.
So what of that, I just got to ask, because for the always something theme in my brain, what was the crazy thing? Was there an idea that they're like, yeah, no, that's just pushing it too much, Nicole. I think that you've gone to the line.
That was more me being like, I don't know how I feel about alcohol in the pool, but I used a dog fence to fence off the beer garden.
The people?
Yes. So the people are fenced off from the dogs.
So it was kind of a reverse. That's very creative. I like that.
And it held up very well. The dogs couldn't get to the people. People couldn't get to the dogs. So if you didn't have a dog, you could still come and watch the dog and all the chaos on the pool deck. But it's a good time.
I'm like just picturing this little. Now I'm picturing these dogs in flipping their lederhosen and drindles and just kind of doing the thing. So do you dress up? Does your staff dress up as well?
We do wear our shirts, so no, we don't dress up, but there is a lot of
because you got to be official.
Yeah, we want to be identifiable to the public in case something's going wrong.
That's safety, even in the fun. All right,
I know.
It's fun. It's always something trying to mess up the fun.
We do wear hats. We'll wear our hats. Yeah, we might wear a lanyard or something, but yeah, we do wear our shirts.
So I love that. That's awesome. I'm going to swim in that one for a little while. No pun intended. It was just kind of something that's in my brain now. I'm kind of looking at that, and I think that's kind of amazing. You're like, look at what I've done in 3 years. This is not too shabby.
Yeah.
So I like that. So look at that. You're already leaving a mark, here in your third year to what's going on and what's happening, and just kind of adding to that fun. So for like I always talk about, there's maybe 3 people watching, and then maybe your family later. But what are the things that you would tell, another professional about, I guess, change, and then the theme around there's always something, right? Is there some kind of advice you would have for them to get through it, charge through it, or just champion it?
Well, I think part of it's knowing yourself. Like, what do you need to make change happen? Is it something where you need the 6 months, or you need to have that conversation with your supervisor? For me, you put it on my desk, and I'll figure out how I want to do it. And then I'm going to come back and be like, okay, I think this is good, but here we can make it better. And I embrace the change. And I would recommend that to anyone else. Just embrace being open to any kind of change that comes your way, especially in our current culture where people want to get out into our parks and do stuff. And sometimes just creating something new. We've got a drone camp coming up for kids this spring. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So
but he does it in the building.
Oh.
I haven't quite seen how he does it all, but I'll get to see it this spring. So yeah.
I love the fact that you embrace the change in something, but I have to ask, because there are people, how do we manage those that don't? Like, what is the thing? Like, what are the things that we can do where it's like, hey, bud, come on. It's coming whether you like it or not, and I do get to that point sometimes, like, it's like, I understand it, but it's happening.
Well, being new in your role, part of what I do with my staff when there's those that don't embrace the change like I do, it's going to take a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work with them and really kind of set up their vision for that. What is this going to look like going forward? Like, I'm taking away your mouse, but here's this digital thing you can talk into, and it'll come up and do whatever you want, right? Yeah. But you've got to teach them how to use those sets of tools. So.
Yeah, it really is, and I would say probably the people part of our job at any level, right, does really provide you that always something. There's always something that comes with the people part of this thing, and we need to recognize that. And I do I like your approach of kind of just embracing it, wrapping around, but then also giving the time, right? And giving the people the opportunity to let it soak in. What I did like is they're like, yeah, give them a couple weeks. You didn't say give them a month, give them a, 2 months. So I'm like, because at some point you got to go and run and go, right?
Yeah, you get a couple weeks, and then no, we got to get this done.
So I love that. Well, hey, I appreciate you kind of just taking some time with me, and I do have to ask, as I ask all the guests here, this is the Take 5 Challenge. Therefore, I would ask if you would be willing to take that challenge on and, connecting with another professional, and just if we were to be able to pair you with someone, or just say, hey, we need you to share your experiences to make each other better, and just want to see if you're up for taking that challenge.
Oh, always. I love talking to new people. That's how you and I met.
That. I love that. See, that's the greatest thing. So if someone wanted to get a hold of you, where could they get a hold of you?
It'll be NLOWERY at CordovaRPD.gov.
Awesome. Nicole, thanks so much for taking 5 with me and just kind of hanging out. I really do appreciate your time, and now I got some things to think about, which is really good, and I appreciate that. So thanks for coming on and just and having fun with me today. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks for making my day fun.
So, cool deal. And for the rest of you, I'll be right back with some final thoughts. And I'm back from having a really cool conversation with Nicole Lowery here on the Take 5 Challenge. So interesting to me how people take on the world, right? If there's always something that's there that kind of stands in our way in this Parks and Rec field, not even stands in our way, but just comes our way, right? Anywhere from really setting yourself up in an agency, whether it be the third year that you're going on there like Nicole's doing, or recognizing when to bring in the new and when to bring in change. and what change to bring in. I think all of those things are important for us to kind of take a look at, but recognize, there's always going to be something. There's going to be good things, challenging things, but just the opportunities that we have in the Parks and Rec field to, I wouldn't say change lives, because I started thinking about her Barktober event, and imagine those families, those people that are really close with their animals, right? I know that are you a cat or a dog person? I would say I'm a dog person, but I'm a one dog person. I'm like, it's only my dog. Everybody else's dogs are theirs and not mine. Don't touch me, don't sniff. But it's just kind of a weird thing. But just knowing that there are people that really want to include them in their own recreation, and how fun was it for them to be able to open up a pool and say, hey dogs, this is your day to go hang out. And not only that, but we're going to add a little something special and put make a little human corral over there for the beer garden. But I think that there is always something there for us to be able to look at and achieve and do through creativity, and then also through the message of change, right? I really liked Nicole's energy on accepting change and liking change, right? Where we all don't. And then also giving that timeline, recognize a timeline. Yeah, people need time to embrace the change, but that doesn't mean you're going to get all the time to embrace it. And that is something that we probably should all look at and think about. It's like, hey, change is coming. That's the one constant, right? That we talk about that all the time. Are you ready to embrace it, or at least go along with it, right? Give it a try. For those of you that are change averse, breathe. It's okay. You never know what that might do. That might create something new for you. That might bring up that something for you that will make a huge difference in your career, in your life, in what comes next. And I don't say that lightly. I really do mean that. I mean, change can be frightening, can be very anxiety producing, but at the same time, we're going to do it. And that we live in a world, especially in the Parks and Rec world, where things are moving and changing all the time. So come on board for that little ride. But again, I want to thank Nicole for taking the time, for reminding me that always something isn't necessarily always something negative, but it can be positive, and we can just look at it and just embrace it. Again, I want to thank CPRS, the Push to Play Network, for this. If you want to get a hold of me, you can hit me up, as the kids say, on Instagram. Send me a message at Take 5 Challenge. It's Take 5_challenge. Send me a message. I'd love to know, if there's a topic that you want us to kind of, touch on when we're talking to one of my guests. If you want to be a guest, if you know somebody that wants to be a guest, I'd love for you to share that info with me through that. But until next time, my friends, this is the Take 5 Challenge. I encourage you to go out there, intentionally connect with somebody else. As iron sharpens iron, we sharpen each other, and we can only get better if we are together and really connecting like this. So take the opportunity to connect, and we'll see you next time on Take 5.